Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and isn't it wild how sometimes life just comes full circle? So for me, when I began talking about RPGs that I felt weren't getting enough attention, it started with this very company where I highlighted Spider's Greedfall, a game that I gave quite a bit of attention to on my channel, filling that BioWare void that is still present, and I thought that game was quite good. I already have a review up on my channel. I'll have it linked in the description down below if you want to check it out. But to my surprise, after just releasing Greedfall back in September of 2019, developer Spiders has unveiled their newest game, and they are getting no attention on it. This is not hyperbolic. Like when you type in Steel Rising to try to find this game on YouTube, on Google, both times Sword Art Online comes up. And look, I like anime. I'm a weeb. You guys know this, all right? We embrace it here. But this is not okay, because this concept for this game is awesome. So I rounded up some details from an interview, as well as what developer Spiders has been saying, some concept art. There's a lot to go over today, but I'm really pumped about this game. So let's put this one on the map, spread it, share it around, get people talking about it, because this company really, I feel, proved themselves with Greedfall. There was some jank, it wasn't perfect, it's not like it was a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, but there is a lot of potential within this studio. With that in mind, let's get it all started with some of the basic details, the need to knows, and then we'll hop into that interview. So you play as Aegis. No, not that Aegis. No, sorry, I know, we're diehard Persona fans here, but no, sorry, not that one. However, similar to Aegis, you are a robot in female form. During this sci-fi version of the 18th century during the French Revolution. Pause. I know, we're all thinking about it, Assassin's Creed Unity. Is this the Assassin's Creed Unity that a lot of us have dreamt of? I was in this weird, like, 2% area where when I reviewed the game, Assassin's Creed Unity was not broken for me. Like, it wasn't dropping frames, it wasn't crashing, the audio wasn't breaking on me, everything was fine. So I don't have necessarily this stained view of the game, but I understand a lot of people do, so hopefully this game here, Steel Rising, can fill that void for you. Anyway, Aegis is a masterpiece that serves as a bodyguard to Queen Marie Antoinette. We can actually see a bit of her in some of the concept art as Paris burns in the background, and also you get a little peek at her in the reveal trailer for Steel Rising, but it's all little bits and pieces of her body. There's no full shot of her like we've seen in the concept art, and granted, even here her back is to us, sadly. Now, Queen Marie Antoinette has ordered us to seek out our creator, to put an end to the massacre carried out by the robot army of King Louis XVI. Okay, alternate history, I'm on board, let's do this. King Louis XVI has gone mad trying to suppress the ongoing revolution by releasing his army of robots, and we can actually see some here. Yes, they're terrifying. They are absolutely scary. King Louis XVI is a madman, literally and figuratively speaking. The interview later on actually mentioned how they were building upon this very premise of what if King Louis XVI was a tyrant? How would that play out? Now, you guys know me. I was a decent student back in college. You know, I got my B's, the occasional A, sometimes a C. I'm gonna be transparent with you. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was book smart. So I actually did a little bit of digging just to familiarize myself with King Louis XVI. And I was interested to find that he was actually quite the large proponent of scientific and technological advancements. In some of those brief readings, brushing up on him, he led the charge by helping create the Royal Academy of Science, which actually led to the installment of things such as observatories within Paris. So it sort of fits the history, his backstory, his lore, if you will. God, I'm such a nerd, but you get the point. It does fit, and so this is an alternate history approach to the French Revolution. I was a huge fan of Wolfenstein, so for me, I am a sucker for alternate history. I think it's a really niche spot of the games industry that needs to be explored more, because there is so much room for potential there. And lastly, for the need to knows, this game is next gen exclusive, so it's only going to be on the Series X as well as the PS5 and PC. So they're building it with this technology in mind. Now, with Greedfall, Spiders showed that they are a developer very much capable of closing that gap between AA development and AAA. Now that they're developing for new technology, and this is their next game after Greedfall, which really, like I said, pushed that limit, I think we are going to be quite impressed with what we do see from them next. At least my standards are a bit higher than others, because I liked Greedfall. There was room for improvement there, so I'm very excited to see how they carry the torch with another new franchise. All right, so as promised, there is an interview that gives us even more details to go over for Steel Rising. This comes from Jean Rousseau, who is the president and co-founder of Studio Spiders, and she gave us a little bit of additional details to work with on what Steel Rising is, what their ambition is with this title, where they hope to go with it. So let's go ahead and dissect it. Steel Rising is going to be more action focused compared to the gameplay found in prior titles. Now, I found this one immediately a standout statement because I felt that Greedfall was very action focused. There was dodging, there was party-based combat, there was abilities, there were multiple play styles, but they want to go beyond that, and I'm fine with it because, as I said, Greedfall had a bit of jank, so if they want to refine that combat style and make it a little bit more intuitive and clean, I'm all about that. Moving on into the interview, they say, as you explore this version of Paris, you will see that there are well-known monuments and others that don't exist anymore, such as the, I apologize for my French here, such as the Grand Chalet. Yeah, God. Maybe I shouldn't do this video after all. I can't do this. Or the Tour de Temple, but I know it's not how you say that one, but I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry. But anyway, we can see it in concept art here. See, at least I'm good for something, right? And this stuff, I just can't wait to see actually in game and exploring it. Now, some may think I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I don't like when games reveal themselves via like a cinematic trailer or just concept art or just words. The reason I'm more understanding here is this is not even a year after they just released a game, so I could only expect so much from them. If this was like 2 years, 3 years down the line and this is what they showed off, then I'd be a little less hyped. I'd be a little more disappointed with what they're showing here. But anyway, let's continue on. They promise more verticality and exploration. You won't just be on the streets of Paris. One quote that stuck out to me was, secret passages can be found to new locations. So they want to encourage you to explore, climb balconies, get on top of buildings, go inside buildings, and find new ways around the world. This does to me signify that Steel Rising will be a lot more open than previous Spiders titles. And you can see they've wanted to do that more and more. Greedfall had these established cities, but the cities felt very lifeless. Often NPCs would just plant themselves in one place, not move at all. You couldn't go inside any of the buildings, so it was almost like the buildings were just these obstacles that were in your way to get to the quest objective, and so it didn't feel like the best world design, if I'm honest, but you could tell that was more of a budget thing. With that said, they want the world to be tied together more fluidly. Aegis also has weapons built into her body. You can make her more powerful, durable, or mobile, which I imagine is them teasing what the skill trees will be like for this character. They created 7 weapons, which are families of weapons they described, because you can find many more as you progress through the game, and each has their own unique characteristics. So they also described what these weapons are, such as on your arms for light combat, or alchemical rifles for long range attacks, heavier weapons to flatten your enemies. So I was thinking about what they said with families of weapons, and when they mentioned heavier weapons, I thought, okay, what if Aegis could wield a hammer, right? There will be a family of different hammers, each of them with different styles. Maybe one will be a weapon speed style hammer, one will be a large war hammer that'll smash your foes. So I think that's how they're going to approach it. I don't think it'll be 7 total weapons in the game, but more so a family of 7 different types of weapons. And so we'll see different types of rifles, we'll see different types of weapons that can attach to your arms, different types of big heavy weapons. I'm not sure what exactly those will be, but I really like this approach because it plays into the whole sci-fi attaching weapons to your body mechanic while still grounding it in some RPG roots. Now, this quote kind of confused me, so I'm gonna pass it off to you and see what you guys think in the comments down below. She said that she hopes we'll explore more than the strategic and tactical path to accomplish the main storyline when it comes to combat. They also do mention that there's lots of side quests throughout the world to find unique gear and items, and they want this game to be as deep and varied as possible. Now, one thing they talked about a lot was combat, action. Now, this is going to be an RPG. It's going to be more like an action RPG, and I think the progression is going to be more so inside the weapons, the stats of your characters, which previous Spiders titles have had. But I wonder what's going to happen with the story and how choices are going to be made, because when she talked about different ways to play the story, it was how you played as Aegis. It wasn't really choices you made along the way. And it does seem like if you're playing as just one character, there wasn't any mention of party members. Maybe we will learn about that down the line like you did with Desarde in Greedfall where there were party members. But it seemed like she was thinking about different combat styles to play the game over and over. So we'll see. This game is likely a couple of years out at the minimum, and it'll be a while before we hear more about it. I do wonder why they announced it so far ahead of time, but personally this studio earned my respect with Greedfall. A lot of you will know I was a pretty big critic of them before that because they always had these great ideas like Technomancer. Technomancer was a really great universe idea, which was the same with Greedfall and seems to be the same with Steel Rising. But much like Technomancer, much like Bound by Flame, these were games that I felt were flops in execution. Greedfall was, in my opinion, the first time they truly got it down. They took their time and they put their money where their mouth was. So hopefully we see the same results with Steel Rising. I have trust in this company. I think that will be the case. But I'd like to pass it off to you. Was this game on your radar at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all of the patrons who continue to build up our lovely little corner of the internet here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.